All right, guys, today we're going to talk about the difference between whole numbers, decimals, and mixed numbers. So we've been dealing with whole numbers ever since we were in pre-K, when we learned how to count by ones, by tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, and now in fourth grade, we're going to go all the way to the billions when it comes to whole numbers. So we already know how whole numbers work. We have this number here, we know is 53. 53 is called a whole number. So let's say I was talking about 53 apples. I'd have 53 whole apples. If I was talking about 53 chocolate bars, I have 53 whole chocolate bars. This 3 would be in the ones place, and this 5 would be in the tens place. So this number 53 tells me I have 3 ones and I have 5 tens. Now here in fourth grade, we're going to learn about decimal numbers. So on the other side of our place value chart, we have numbers called decimals. If you've ever seen this point right there on a number, that point is called a decimal. When we read that decimal, we say the word and. For example, let's look at this number here that I have a decimal number here. I have 0 wholes because if you see it, that's my ones place. So here I have my whole number. Since I'm talking about decimals, I made that number a 0. So now I'm going to look at what my decimal numbers are. So we already learned about the ones place, tens, hundreds, thousands, and so on. Now we're going to go backwards. We're going to look at the decimal numbers. So this place value right here, where the 5 is, that place value is called the tenths with THS. So that's the tenths place. The tenths place is represented with 0.1 or 0.1. This place value here is the hundredths place with THS. When it comes to my decimals, I'm taking a whole number and I'm cutting it apart by 10. So yesterday we learned that, well, not yesterday, but the other day, we learned that each time we go over a place value, we grow by 10 times. So I need 10 ones to get to 10, 10 tens to get to 100. So when we go backwards, we divide that number by 10. So it's 1/10 of. So here, when I get to the 1 whole, if I cut that 1 whole into 10 parts, I'd get to what we call tenths. That's why we get tenths here. But it's only when we cut it into 10 parts. Okay? So it's like if I had $1. I have $1 and I divide it by 10. I know what I need to make. What I need. I need 10 of what to make the dollar. Good, we need 10 dimes. So if I have 10 dimes, I know I'm talking about tenths, because I need 10 of them to make the whole dollar. Here I don't have any because it's only 53. When it comes to hundredths, that means we need 100 of them. So it's like if I have my dollar and I divide it by 100 parts. So that would be like my pennies. We need 100 pennies to make the dollar. So if I write down this decimal, I'm going to bring it out. This is how I'd read it. I have 0 and, remember we say and for the decimal, 0 and 53 hundredths, because I have 53 of them. The 5's in my tenths place, and the 3 is in my hundredths place. So I'm going to read it 0 and 53 hundredths. So these two place values are the two new place values we're going to be working with this year. So now we're going to see what it looks like if we mix it. If we have whole numbers and decimals put together. So here I have my whole numbers, and I want to label them because I want to remember from my decimal to the left, they're my wholes. From my decimal to the right, they're decimals. So just a reminder, here's my decimal, and it's always between the ones place and the tenths place. You remember that's tenths with THS. So now my whole number is written 23 and 16. And since that ended in the hundredths place, I'm going to say hundredths here. So that's 23 and 16 hundredths with THS. That's what's going to tell you that you're in the decimals. Remember, once we're in the decimals, we add that THS.